So I said, fuck it, I'm plugging in the mouse, because if this is going to take, it takes so long to set up a stream. So long, because all you're doing is getting rid of all the AI. That's why it takes so long to set up a stream. It's quicker to say you're going to go live and set it up in Streamlabs and go. But then you have to go to YT Studio. Long, because all you're doing is get rid of the AI. So if this is fucking up now, it's because the mouse is plugged in. Never done this before. Let's check the audio while we're live. What do you know? The TV's already on. So if this is fucking up now, it's because the mouse is plugged in. It's not fucked up. For now. I hope you've never seen episode 92 of Dark Shadows, because I'm going to talk about it in a couple of minutes here. And I'm going to leave the mouse plugged in. If you don't like it, tough. This is exactly why I have to wear shorts when I go live. Because just in case, on the rare occasion when the audio fucks up, either because of Streamlabs or Logitech, I have to check the audio, and the only way it comes through clearest is on the TV, not through the phone. Just getting the chat rooms open for the literal umpteenth time in less than an hour. It's like Groundhog Day without Bill Murray. Settings, pop-up chat. Okay, now I get to resize all of the screens, because if there's one thing a modern computer cannot do, it's remember where your screens were. If I could remember the episode well enough, I could be talking about it while I'm setting my screens back up. But it's, I think I'm personally on episode 105. I know I got past 104. That's it's got one of my favorite scenes, but I can't remember back 10 plus episodes on my own, so I'm just gonna ramble here a bit while this is the best part. But yeah, what's up, One to Go To, and John Rogers, Lisa Gray, Thomas Collins, and we owe you, Bill Cooper. Yeah, way to be a tease. He says, yeah, I don't have the, I don't wear shorts anywhere except right now in front of you guys that you can't see. The ones I had are too big, so I threw them out. One to Go To says, I kind of regret mentioning the audio difficulties, but realize that you deeply care about production quality and are expected and admire concern. Like, tell me when there's audio fuck-ups, because I watch these back too, and I had to watch a whole episode, like the last 20 minutes was completely fucked off, and then I got to tell you guys about that same episode. If the audio's fucked up, all that means is I have to tell you about the same episode again. Lisa Gray, sorry I ate the entire appetizer array while waiting. You know, THC side effects. Yeah, smoke if you got if you've got food, eat it. Eat extra for me, because Lord knows that's not going into my stomach. Damn, it's tired all the time now. Let's try this again. Yeah, if I didn't love going live, I would have just said you're 26, fuck it, but I love seeing you guys too much. Sorry, just having a little meltdown. I'm back. I hate doing a second take. Episode 92 of Dark Shadows aired on November 1st, 1966. We are on day 12. We're in Bangor. We are just outside. We see the office for Richard Garner. And Victoria's there. And Richard Garner, he's an older gentleman, like 60 plus. You know, he's probably eating supper at 4 p.m., a little bit up there. Like back when older folks still worked and still kept themselves together. That's what he looks like. Yeah, dandy, yeah, fingers crossed. But Richard Garner, he's saying that the Collins family did have a butler named Hanscom. They also had 2 chauffeurs, 3 cooks, an upstairs maid, like just for the upstairs, a butler, housekeepers, gardeners, handymen, and all of that went away when Paul Stoddard left. Lisa Gray says, "You're all right, Nikki." Yeah, let's see if I can get through 7 or 10 minutes without any audio mess-ups. Do you realize how long this episode's going to run? Because I got a late start. But this was back when a job with the Collins family was a job for life. But as soon as they were let go, they all slowly left Collinsport. So none of the people who worked for the Collins family are left in town. They're just scattered to the winds. But judging by that ledger paper that she's got, that's about 20 to 30 years old. I'm just thinking Sam Evans said he did that painting 25 years ago, so it's all right around in there. But this is when Richard Garner has his son come in, Frank Garner, who's much younger, like 30s, younger guy. But he's instantly, like, just into Victoria. Just can't take his eyes off of her. Very friendly with her, just acts very familiar with her. But Victoria's saying, like, yeah, that she's an orphan, so this is the only lead she has, is just with this name. And Frank Garner was just so taken with her that, oh, sure, I'll look through all the old stacks of papers for you. I can't wait to tell you what I find. And he's just so willing to devote his time to this task that he's, like, they're not getting paid to do this, so he's doing it on his own free time. So, okay, wow, thank you. So then Victoria is at the Bangor Pine Hotel. She orders a grilled cheese and some coffee. Doesn't look at a menu, just says that. It kind of seems too fancy a place to have grilled cheese, but oh well. That's fine. But right, she's sitting down by herself. She's not expecting anybody. You know, Frank's off working, doing something, so she's just waiting. But as she's just sitting there, up walks Burke, like, oh, you're here. And it's, when somebody, walks up to your table like, hi, but I kind of was not expecting to have to talk to somebody right now. But he's like, well, I would like to think that we're friends. And Victoria just tells him, like, sometimes I really just do not understand you. Burke's telling her, you know what, your real family is probably better than any of the Collins family. And it looks like that thin as fuck bread again. It's because when I first saw it, I thought it was just like a slice of toast on the plate, and I'm like, that's not very convincing grilled cheese, air quotes. But like, no, if you really look, it's that super thin bread that we talked about, or you guys told me about, and I guess that's supposed to be cheese in the middle. Okay. How many calories can that be? Like order 2. That's not gonna, like, you stand up from the table, you're gonna be hungry again. I don't know. But as Burke's, just there, up walks, Frank Garner, kind of like, oh, you've got a guy here, But they meet for the first time. Oh, Frank Garner, Burke Devlin. And I guess Richard Garner was Roger's lawyer 10 years ago. But Frank has not found out anything for Victoria yet. Pause there. What kind of lawyers are these that are they, because I know that there's like defense attorneys, and then you've got, I don't know, like a property tax lawyer, which maybe that's what they are. You really don't see them switching genres. So how do you go from like accounting to defending a murder trial? I don't know. They just, that never came up on Law and Order. They don't clear it up on the show. I guess we're not supposed to think about it, but I thought about it. But then in Richard's office, he gets on the phone to Liz saying that, oh, Victoria Winters was up here. And that's news to Liz. And we just see Richard Garner's office for the credits. It's just an office you would expect. So you got like all the books, you got the desk, a lamp, a phone, pens, so yeah, windows. It's nothing really. It's standard. It's just a regular office you would expect. It didn't know that, like, say, like fancy statue in the corner to make you think this guy's artsy. Just standard lawyer stuff. Got through one episode. Oh my god. Maybe asterisk. This is what all of the professional YouTubers do. I don't see what the problem is, because any Grace Still Plays video you watch, episode, oh my god, he's got to stop every 5 minutes to check his audio. That's what he's done. Grace Still Plays is very professional. He would never do that. He's never had audio issues once. One time you get to hear his stomach rumbling, and like twice you can hear his cats. Like twice in the history of ever. But they're older videos and you really have to listen for it. I know the camera's moving, I'm sorry. That's officially exercise. God damn. I need an Adidas sponsorship. Sponsor me, Adidas. Oh my god, dude. I don't eat enough to be up and down like that much. Is the fan on me good? Oh my god. That's effort. That's like climbing up not two flights of stairs, but that's like going up 2 steps. I am winded. I'll catch my breath. All right, episode 93. Oh, William O. Cooper, I see over there. This was on November 2nd, 1966. We're still in that 12th day. We're in the living room at Collinwood, and Liz is just hanging up the phone. Is this when she says it? Maybe not. Okay. So Liz knows that Victoria, first she just said she wants to go to Bangor for a few days. Now she's getting a phone call from her lawyer saying that Victoria was just there. So Liz is probably thinking, well, don't tell me. But yeah, she finds out Victoria's in Bangor with Burke Devlin. So Roger comes in and he pours a drink. Oh god. Look away if you're watching this episode, because Roger normally dresses very well, except for when he's wearing a corduroy jacket. Just a normal suit jacket like you would imagine, but it's corduroy. It looks so heavy, like you're wearing a carpet. It's so ugly. I don't care if it's the most comfortable fabric in the world to look at it. Like if I'd open up my closet and see it, I would throw it out. So I don't understand. Like, I realize it was popular then. Doesn't mean it's okay. But he's going to be wearing this for at least an episode or two. I'm sorry. At least it's in black and white. It's worse to see this kind of stuff in color. Ugh. But anyway, Roger is wondering if Victoria and Burke met up there on purpose. And as they're talking, Liz is just saying, just mentioning, just said something happened the night Bill was died. Not like was killed. I don't know if that's like the actress making a mistake or if that's in the script, but like she says was, and she's died. Oh wow, Dandy said I chopped down a clump of 14-foot tall ornamental grass today, just a little bit sore. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Dude, nothing pisses me off more. I mean, some things piss me off more than this, but in Minecraft, the tall grass, you got grass that comes up past your eyes. Well, what's the damn point in that? I knock all that stuff down. I don't like that extra loose grass around. I understand to get wheat seeds from it. I get that. But it's so easy to grow wheat and get seeds that way. I really don't eat it randomly. I've got a chicken farm. I don't catch them randomly, but you're just like you're trying to walk around and trying to see, and just this, just everywhere you look, just this tall grass, so you just knock it all down. Just like, no, I don't need to see where I'm going. Then you just fall from dying from a high place. But anyway, back to this. Liz mentions that David asked Victoria to stay. Roger cannot believe that. It's almost like WTF. Like his son asked Victoria to stay. He can't believe it. So over in the foyer, Carolyn's wearing. Okay, it's a long sleeve dress, and it does have. She's been rocking the plaid lately. It has a plaid collar, about that much of it, like going all the way around, and then like plaid on the collars, and the rest is just a plain one color. And there's also on the left there's like a chest pocket. What white women need a pocket on the chest, but it's just there. And that she's kind of over here in this, and I don't care what Burke does. I just don't think he should be with Victoria. And it backs up Liz like, yeah, David practically begged Victoria to stay. That whole "I love you" thing. So up in David's bedroom, he's drawing Bill Malloy's ghost. And he says he wants Victoria to stay because he thinks Bill Malloy's ghost is going to come back around. Danny said I might have to watch Dark Shadows just to see the house. It is. It's incredible. People have built it, like the foyer, out of Legos. That's a real thing somewhere. I'm sure you can find it online. I want to build it in Minecraft so bad. I don't know if I want to. I'm already thinking like oh okay, like the stairs are 2 blocks wide. There's like that where the door is for the kitchen. Okay, you've got that. Then you've got about 4 blocks. Like 4 panels, and that's where the steps would be. There's a giant tapestry on the wall for the by the stairs. So like I'm slowly putting all that information together in my head because I hate having to reference a picture and then build it in Minecraft and then reference and then build. I kind of just want to go off memory rather than having to like play an episode, watch it, okay, build, play it, and it's coming together. If I could build the cottage mostly that way, there's no reason why I couldn't build the foyer, and then something like building what we see, not the actual like say house that they used for the film. And then I want to build the old house, but that's more than one set. So that's we've only seen the one room really of the old house, but there's more to it. I would want to incorporate all of that into one structure. And it's yeah. They have white pillars. They've got white quartz for pillars. I'm getting ahead of myself. Lisa Gray said the corduroy segues into polyester as the series goes into the 70s. Yeah, it does. It does. It just we get they hit the color episodes, and it sort of gets to a point where like, well, what color would you like this actress to wear? And they said yes. There's this one pattern of dress. It's the ugliest thing you've ever seen, and then like they make her wear it more than once. And I don't understand what happens in those scenes other than that ugly dress, and then the next scene it just Like, who looked at this sober and said, okay, this is going on air? But yeah, anyway, David is saying that he did ask Victoria to. No, I'm sorry, I went to the wrong place. No, yeah, sorry, yeah, David's up there. He's drawing that picture of a ghost. And he's saying this to his dad that he wants Victoria to stay so he can still see Bill Malloy's ghost again. And then he says that the ghost said he was killed. Probably by you. And Roger, he slaps him. Like, I don't know if there's really contact with the other actor's face, but he's shocked. Like it's not a hard slap, but still you're slapping somebody in the face, so. That's how that ends. But down in the living room, Carolyn is saying that. Oh, Roger, sorry, David runs in, Roger right after him, he's saying his dad hit him. Carolyn's saying, your father would never hit you. Roger's right there saying, and I'll do it again. He is not show like the one time you disciplined the kid. But no one believes David. Just, oh, your father wouldn't, so it's. No one's ever on his side, and so there's David saying, he wishes his father was dead. It's standard for him. But later on, Carolyn gets on the phone to the Collinsport Inn, see if Burke's there, but he's still out. And they don't know when he's going to be back, so just, oh well. And then Carolyn tells Liz that Victoria saw the Garners because she found that ledger head with that bee pan scum on it. And then she tells her about, like, well, Sam Evans had painted this portrait, and Victoria said it looked just like her. And that's when Liz is like, yeah, we did have a butler called Hanscom, and Betty was either his daughter or his niece, and she really does not know which one. But as I recall, she didn't resemble Victoria Winters one bit. Okay. But then she mentions she hasn't heard from her in like 25 years, and the family moved away. But Carolyn is still on about Victoria being with Burke. So Liz says, you're obsessed with him. But I'm not obsessed, so just deny. And Liz gets on talking about how Paul he loved the Collins family money more than he loved her. She mentions that she actually like loved somebody and maybe would have married them. And so Carolyn's like, Bill Malloy. Liz is like, no, Bill was just a good friend. Friend zoned even in death. But Ned proposed. Ned Calder proposed before she met Paul. And said that Joe Haskell is a lot like Ned was, back in the day. Just ambitious and all that. But Liz left Ned hanging on too long, and so that's just why that never worked out. Then remember, he had proposed to her recently, and then she said no, so he quit. So that's why he's been gone, since the show began. Which really, it's only been a few months, really, but that's why that happened. So Carolyn decides she's going to call Joe so he can take her out. Like you get a phone call, hey, you're taking me out to a restaurant. Just, okay. But in the foyer, Carolyn is, done with her phone call. She hangs up. She's super happy. She hugs Roger. And just everything's wonderful. Now Roger, he goes into the living room, pours a drink. And he's telling Liz he does want Victoria fired, and he admits he lost his temper at David. And he does want Liz to sell Collinwood. And of course, no to that. But then Roger says, "What if I leave?" So, yeah, get the hell out of here, guy. But then he says, "And take David with me." That's when Liz is like, Liz tells him, "You love money more than you love David." And Roger tells her, "Well, David only wants Victoria to stay for Bill's ghost." Yeah, why'd you hire her anyway? So Liz says Victoria isn't telling Burke anything. She just knows the girl will keep her mouth shut. We do see the living room for the credits. We can see it's a little bit farther away shot, so we can see the wet bar that Roger's always at. And they're like the wall behind it. There's a portrait up there. We never find out who that is, but there's a picture up there. And, it's like the camera shooting like over the top of the piano. That's why we can see that part of the room a little bit better than we usually can. I want to say later on we get more credit shots where we can see that. I feel like we get to see, like in the color episodes is what I'm thinking of. We get to see that more. Can I move this? I hate when I'm almost bumping this cable. Please don't move. Okay, let's do this again. Part 4. 4 episodes is what I'm thinking of. We get to see that more. There we go. As awful as this makes my voice sound anyway. I mean, I'm not saying my voice sounds great. I've heard worse lady voices, don't get me wrong. I'm not. You think you have the worst voice, and then you go around online, and then you start hearing some other ladies talk, and you're like, I'm good. I'm good. Oh, it's gonna be the most crooked shot. You know what? It's gonna be like, quite frankly, the way his camera keeps getting knocked from side to side so much. It's unreal. Like, I know he's got to have a pricier setup than me. Can you tighten that so we're not getting the side to side wiggle every single time you move? Like, I'd hate to think that he has to sit there paranoid about every little way he moves the way I do. Oh, yeah, 2 episodes down. It's nice when we do get into the color episodes, because then it's like they realize, hey, we can give certain characters certain color schemes, and then they stick with that. It's like this person's always in this color, this person's always in that color. Episode 94. This was November 3rd, 1966. It's nighttime on that 12th day now. And we're at the Bangor Pine Hotel. And Victoria and Frank Garner are having dinner. I keep wanting to call him Frank Grimes from The Simpsons. Nothing like this guy. If I accidentally say that, the way my words have been slipping, like, I'm sorry. Like, this dude's blonde. The guy in The Simpsons had dark hair. 2 completely different guys. But if I say Frank Grimes, I'm sorry. I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about another older guy. We owe you, Bill Cooper said, I'm not a lady and I have the worst lady voice like Lillian Gish. Lillian Gish has it. That woman speaks from the diaphragm. She projects. Like, the first time I saw her in an interview, she was as an older lady. It was like maybe the 70s. And I'm thinking, okay, she's a silent movie actress. Maybe she's going to have this little quiet voice. She's a little lady, but man, she projects. She speaks clearly. I was like, damn, girl. And then later on, I saw her in like a movie. In a talkie, and just to see the way like a silent film actor acts versus after that era, it just like the little bit extra that it's so great. I like how the acting style was, because all you had was one stationary camera to work with. You can't do panning shots and sweeping and none of this, so it was just you in this one little box doing everything. But yeah, it's Victoria, Frank Garner having dinner. Very nice. Then we jump over to the Blue Whale, and Carolyn, she's wearing it's a dark dress with the sheer sleeves. I love that dress. I think that's her sexiest dress. She was mentioned under sexiest dress in one episode. I don't think this one's better looking to me. And she's doing like she's sitting there with Joe, but she's doing her fake laugh and smiling just a little bit too hard. And Joe's like, I've known you almost my entire life, and I can tell when you're pretending to have a good time. And she finally kind of drops the act. And then she mentions how Victoria saw Bill's ghost, and she doesn't want to believe her. But Joe says, "You're too old for ghosts." Then he says, "I want to be sure about you, but I'm not." And he kind of says it in an offhanded way, like that's a really weighty sentence, because he really doesn't know about her. She likes him 1 minute, then she's chasing after Burke, and then she's just so flip floppy. How's he supposed to know if she's gonna commit to one guy for the rest of her life when she behaves that way? But after he says this, Maggie and Sam walk in. And of course, Carolyn noticed, like, "Oh, Maggie, come on in, sit down." Like, "Oh, well, we don't want to intrude. You guys look like you're on a date." "Oh no, please come." Just being a little bit too much. "Please sit down. I want to talk." And remember, just Maggie and Joe had dinner the other night, so Maggie's kind of just okay. It takes off her purse, kind of uncomfortably sits down as Sam's there. Well, Bill Cooper, she was a talent. Oh my God, yeah. I just was not expecting just such a little lady an older lady too, to just speak so clearly, just like better than the other ladies on that. It was I swear it was like her and some other old timey performers. I couldn't even tell you what. It's somewhere on YouTube. I only knew Lillian Gish from them mentioning her on the Beverly Hillbillies, and then I see her in real life. Like, whoa. But Bangor Pine Hotel, Victoria is saying that she wants to find her family no matter what. Like, she's not afraid to find out if they're, criminals or whatever. She just wants to know. And she's like, "Well, I don't really tell many folks this," but she was saying back when she was at the foundling home, there was a nurse that she really got attached to and kind of thought of her as mother. And everything was fine until that lady got a job somewhere else and moved away, and she never saw her again. So she had to go through the whole thing, like telling herself, like, that wasn't my mom, I wasn't her daughter, and just had to get real with herself when she's, like about 9 years old. That sucks. Like, she's not like teary eyed when she's telling these stories, but any 9-year-old's gonna be devastated when something like that happens. So that's just sad. But over at the Blue Whale, it's like Maggie and Joe are sitting in the middle, and then you got I'm sorry, Carolyn and Joe are sitting in the middle, then you got Maggie and Sam on the edge of the table, and Maggie just looked super. We've never seen Maggie look this uncomfortable before, but she's uncomfortable. And Carolyn just like, "Oh, Maggie, that dress looks so nice on you. Blue is your color." I'm thinking, how can you tell? Oh, she's not watching it in black and white. Oh, okay. It's a sleeveless dress, too. I guess it is blue. Maybe it is. Maybe we see it in color. It's got to be a light blue. But Joe asked Carolyn, like, well, why did you, like they get up and dance so they can, talk privately. But Joe's like, why did you invite them over? And Carolyn's, well, she just wanted Maggie to know that there's no hard feelings. I kind of don't believe Carolyn when she says this, but that's what she says. And Maggie's got coffee. They've got I mentioned before, probably, they got the same kind of coffee cups at the diner as they do at the bar. That just makes sense. I wouldn't call it a continuity error. Maggie's sipping her coffee, and you're noticing, them two dancing over there and just kind of looking jealous. And Sam notices her noticing them, just, and she denies it. Just like, don't worry about what I'm thinking about, Pop. But back over in Bangor at the hotel, it's Frank Garner is saying how there are a lot of handscomes in town. Thinking, oh damn, it's like finding a needle in the haystack. But right now, Richard Garner comes walking up, and then Frank Garner, I think, mentions he mentions somewhere in this episode, like, yeah, don't tell your secretary where you're going to be after business hours. That's why his dad's there. But it's Richard Garner saying, yeah, don't get your hopes up. But over at the Blue Whale, it's too awkward. Maggie wants to leave. And she's like, well, I've got to open up the coffee shop at 6:30. Where's Victoria? Carolyn says that Victoria's in Bangor, and she saw Bill Malloy's ghost. So they're saying right away, what did it say to her? And Carolyn said, well, it said that she's in danger at Collinwood. Then she looks at Maggie and says that Victoria is with Burke. So Joe's like, hey, let's dance. After they just sat down dancing, like, well, I want to dance again. So, so they go, dance, So Joe's pissed off now. He knows that Carolyn only took him out, asked him to take her to the Blue Whale tonight because she's jealous of Victoria and Burke being together right now in Bangor. But Carolyn denies it, and then they kind of get into a little bit of an argument, and she just leaves in a huff. And of course, Joe follows her. And Maggie and Sam see this, and as they walk out. I was watching Maggie real close. I thought she was smiling about it at the end. She's not smiling, but she's also not upset that they had an argument. That kind of a look. Like, oh yeah, have a good night. So over back at the hotel in Bangor, Frank is asking his dad, like, do you have anything against Victoria? He just like he's acting standoffish with her. I don't really notice it. Maybe it's just his son noticing it. But his dad, Richard, he's like, well, just don't get her hopes up. Because it really did sound like, hey, I'm going to find out this person by 5 p.m. But, like, there are a lot of Hanscoms in town. It's like, we know she's an orphan. Just don't get her hopes up. Don't be a dick. And remember, we work for Liz. And it's over at the table. Victoria is still there. She orders another coffee because she's driving back tonight. What happened to all that getting out of town for a few days? It's been one day and she's already going back. Oh, well. Maybe Bangor is boring. I don't know. I've never been. But at the Blue Whale, and Sam's still ordering drinks, and just Maggie, she's just got her purse. She wants to go. But then Joe comes back in. He took Carolyn home, and then he came back to the Blue Whale, and Sam's like, well, look, I'm going for a walk. Can you just make sure Maggie gets home safe? I just gotta, artist, inspiration is his excuses to get out of the room. He knows what he's doing, like, oh, I'm gonna leave these two here. So, Sam kind of wanders out. And Maggie asks him about, like, so, tell me about the boat you're setting up for. And Joe says, you're really nice for not asking me about Carolyn. I know you saw us fight before we left. So Maggie's like, why did you come back? Joe said, for a boat lesson. And he has Maggie go through, like she knows the name of every single sail on a boat, what the rigging does. She's listed it all off. So he came back for her. And then we get to see that Bangor Pine Hotel, that restaurant, for the credits. It's very nice, like a very like silverware type of place. It kind of looks like the place where you would need reservations, but it's a hotel restaurant, so you wouldn't. Like I don't know if they have like a maitre d' or a sommelier or anything that super fancy. It's a very nice place. I'm sure it's a pricey hotel. Place. It kind of, the audio's sticking with me. Hooray. It should not be that much of a struggle in year 26 to get the audio to stay on a video. Never thought that could be an issue. Ugh, action shot. If I don't have to do that every 15 minutes, I don't get winded. But if I have to jump up after every 15 minutes, I start to get lightheaded. Didn't know I was going to have to exercise. I don't need to lose weight that way. I could lose it fine on my own. All right, episode 95 was November 4th, 1966. It's a nighttime on that 12th day. And we're at the Bangor Pine Hotel. We're always in the restaurant there. And then Victoria's, talking to Frank. And she's just saying she just had to you just get the fuck out of Collinwood for a hot minute after what happened. She saw Bill Malloy's ghost. It sang to her and it said someone in Collinsport killed him. And then David locked her in a room after she was, looking for a pen that she found up at Lookout Point. And she could have dreamed that ghost, but there was seaweed. And then she admits she's terrified of Collinwood, but she feels like she belongs there. That's a rough feeling. So Frank Garner says, do you want to be a Collins? Victoria says, I just want to find my family. Like, she wouldn't care if they were rich or poor or whatever. She just wants to know who they are. But up walks Burke. He just, sees her with somebody. He mentions he's going to be, leaving town in 30 minutes. And then there was Frank Garner like, I didn't realize you had a ride because I was going to drive you home. And Victoria's kind of like, whoa, that's kind of it's an hour there and back, so he would be, it's nighttime too, so he would be driving her home an hour one way and then driving home another hour just to spend extra time with her. And he flirts with her really hard. He's going in for the kill, like this is his last chance. And then he asks if she and Burke are more than friends. And she says no, she doesn't know Burke very well. She says he's strange and gentle and kind, but he's also cruel and violent, and he frightens her. And Frank is just surprised she's single. But as they're talking, they're kind of in the foreground. There's this little table off to the side, and there's Burke, and he's there with, Mr. Blair, and they're kind of just paperwork, just oh, this here, oh yeah, so they're doing stuff. They're not looking at them talking. But Frank is saying that the law firm records go back to 1879, and then Frank just straight up asks her out on a date. Like, hey, if you're in town sometime, if you're in town again sometime, I'd like to, take you out and show you around, kind of a thing. And she agrees. So I guess they're on for another date, or a date. I don't know if this is technically a date right now. Maybe not. But over at the table, Burke wants to raise his bid at 10%. And Mr. Blair is kind of like you're kind of offering more than it's worth. But Burke doesn't care. It's worth it if it puts the Collins family out of business. So this is when Victoria, she's done speaking with Frank, walks up to their table. Victoria Winters, Mr. Blair. Is his first name James? I know I wrote it down. First name, I don't know if they even use his first name, but they're introduced. And Victoria's saying that she works at Collinwood. Well, what do you do, Mr. Blair? And he's very vague. He's involved in all types of business. And just like he needs to, finish up some contracts right there. So he takes out his pen, starts writing. And Victoria just stares at it. And then we see the pen. And it looks exactly like the one she found. It's all fancy and bumpy. Maybe that's what filigree means. But it's the same pen. And he's writing and if somebody's watching you write, your first thought is they're watching you reading what you're writing. So he notices her noticing him eye problem, he doesn't say that, but I just can't. I'm staring at your pen. I found one just like it. He's like, oh, there can't be one just like it. There's only 6 like this in the entire world. 4 of them in South America. And this pen that he's got right now is the one that Burke gave to him. But Burke had one more pen. Maybe he lost it. And Victoria, she's stared at this thing more than the guy talking, and she's like, "You mind if I see that real quick?" And he hands it to her, and she's looking at it. And we know she recognizes it. You can't fake that reaction. But as she's got it real close, she's kind of thinking, oh no, actually, this one, I thought it looked like mine, but now that I got it up close, it's totally different. It's pretty, but yeah, that's not it. And that's right when Burke's coming back to the table and he's got to sign some contracts. So here's that pen. So he's using it and she's watching him write really hard. So then we hear thunder. And then Victoria is super nervous. She's always really calm, very collected. So if she starts to get jangly, it's noticeable. And she starts to fidget. It doesn't necessarily make you nervous as well, but you're noticing that she is not okay. William Bill Cooper, second base. Yeah, I don't think she's that interested in him. He's hella interested in her, and she's just glad he's being nice to her, but she doesn't seem interested in him at all. I literally just met you, don't know your middle name, slow down. So, Burke's ready to leave, but Victoria's like, oh, I've got to make a phone call before we go. To hang out. I'll be right back. She goes to the phone booth. And, you get on the phone, operator, give me this person, and they just connect you. You didn't have to know a phone number back then because the operator knew everybody. But they patch her through, probably to his office, no answer. So what does she do? She calls Collinwood. In the foyer, Roger picks up the phone. And Victoria's like, hey, can you come into town and pick me up? Remember that pen? It was Burke's. I think he killed Bill Malloy. And she's afraid. She doesn't know what to do. Like he's waiting for her to go. She's in this little phone booth. She doesn't know. She's already checked out of her hotel room. She doesn't know how to, make him go away. So Roger's like, calm down. I'm coming right there. Don't worry. Don't mention the pen. So she gets off the phone, goes back into the restaurant, and Burke's ready to go, and she's like, actually, I decided I'm gonna check out the town for, another day or two. I'm gonna stay. And there's Burke. Well, you already checked out, and she's like, well, I'm sure I can get my room back. And it's like, well, okay. And then we see outside of the doors for Collinwood, it's just Roger walking out the front doors. And that's what we see for the credits. So if anybody was wanted to, draw what the door looks like with the designs and the knocker and all that stuff, that's a good place for you to pause that or take a screenshot and copy that. Oh my God, I'm so tired of standing up. It's this or me having to repeat these episodes again, so I guess it's worth it. It's worth the little bit of exercise I inadvertently get. At least I'm only checking on the same episode every time. It's this or me having to repeat these episodes again, so I guess it's rather than having to, nobody wants to hear me say the same thing twice. I just can't do it as good a second time. Alright, so far so good. I know it's 8:30, but I've really only been live consistently for a damn hour. Ah, shit. This is going to look more like an episode, quite frankly, if I keep knocking that camera from side to side. Just got some towels up there on the door to make it. That's what I gotta do when I play Minecraft. You can't see there's also a purple towel hanging up, so all of that is dark. So I've got it all dark behind everything when I'm playing. Plus you can set the time and day in Minecraft, so if you want to have it sunset all the time, you can. Set it for midnight, turn the rain on and off. Can't do that on this show. It's always... How many times has it rained in this one day, in the last 2 days? I don't, you know what, maybe it's not weird, maybe weather is like that up in Maine, I don't know, they are right, you can't be more on the water unless you were to live on an oil rig or something like that, so maybe that's normal up there. Yeah, here we go. Episode 96 was November 7, 1966. It's still the night of that 12th day, but now we do have a thunderstorm going on. And if I was Victoria, I would start to have PTSD from thunderstorms, because there was just one the other day, and she was locked in. So there's no way I could be hearing a thunderstorm in the same week and be okay. I don't want to be outside when it's... I don't know if you'd want to be inside. No, I'm going to stand outside when it's raining and storming, because the last time I was inside, so I just... Oh man, my camera's so messed up. It makes me look shorter. Can't do that. I had to film myself like that so I look tall. So we're in the Bangor Pine Hotel restaurant. It seems like it's pretty much empty. We can't see other people. You just get the feeling. It's just Victoria sitting there, drinking her coffee by herself. Kind of looks anxious. But right away, Roger's there, and she's so relieved to see him. I'm so glad you're here. And she just like, well, how'd you get rid of Burke? Oh, I just told him I was going to stay in town. She's like, I'm so glad you're here, Roger. I couldn't ride home with a murderer. She doesn't watch the show. She doesn't know. But they are in the car, and it is pouring rain, like rain on the windshield, wipers going. It's really going. But Victoria is telling Roger that Mr. Blair had a pen just like the one she found, and he told her that there's only 2 of them like the in the U.S. Had to start a new notepad here. So that pen puts Burke at the scene of the accident. And Roger's like, okay, well, don't mention that pen. We can't reopen a case based on that evidence. Exactly what he was trying to do. And as he's driving, it's just so, like, the actor's doing a good job. Like, the roads are just washed out. It's just hard to see. And it's like, well, I was coming here and the road was almost washed out, so I'm going to take the back road to get us home. I would think the back roads would be more likely to be washed out, but maybe Roger's not used to country driving. Lisa Gray says it's been clear here. Been watching the Taurid meteors, Taurid. Across the cold dark sky. It's sunset here at 4:30. Oh my God. And 14 degrees Fahrenheit. Whoa. Oh, see now 14 degrees Celsius. Better. 14 degrees Fahrenheit. That's less than freezing. Ouch. I don't know how many degrees below 0 Celsius that is, but it's not. Oh God, 14. Oh, that's so cold. And now, does the sun come up early there, or do you still get like a sunrise, or is it like a late sunrise? Like, yeah, we get sun from 12:30 p.m. until 4:30. I don't know. Is it, or does it start getting light super early like Japan? So it's 4:30 a.m. and like it's just starting to get light on the horizon. That's why their eyes are like that. Nobody needs to be up that early. Been up since before the crack of dawn. They're all fucking tired. Over in Collinwood, we can see the clock, but I cannot read it. It's just a matter of, like, it's black and white plus the distance. I don't know how if I would, like, turn up the sharpness to get it to be able to see, plus with my bad eyes. And then if I focus on that clock for too long, then I'm done reviewing that episode for a few hours. So it's just, if you can read it, fine. I can't. We can see it though. Lisa Gray says sunrise around 9:15 a.m. Okay, so that's a little bit like around here. I guess that's late. Maybe the sun comes up at 7 a.m. now that we're not in daylight savings time. I mean, like I get up at 9 a.m. usually, so like I'm just wondering what it would be like to wake up at my usual time, and it's still dark out. Okay, so wow, they get even less sunlight than we do. That's not good if you're an outside person. Yikes. So We Owe You Bill Cooper says 14 Fahrenheit is negative 10 Celsius. Ouch. He said burb. Oh my God. Oh, that would hurt so bad. Oh my God. That's like a freezer. They can freeze dry food in that temperature. Probably not. It's got to be late at night. As late as they were. It's been night for so long, and all this driving back and forth. Just sometime in the evening, but it's not tomorrow yet. But Liz's hair is down. It's got this natural kind of like wave curl thing to it, like shoulder length hair. She just like a night dress on. Just it's always like flowy fabric down to the floor, it button down, 3/4 sleeve. But there's a knock at the door. She answers, and the sheriff's there. Hey, can I use your phone? My car stalled. It's like, oh, there's no getting up that road. It's just like everything's flooded, so they're being called out to like mark off roads that are flooded. And as he's doing that, his car stalled out, so he's just he must not be that good of a car. But he goes into the living room. He asks for a Trooper Chuck Woodard, Woodard. I'm only pointing that out for that last name, like asterisk. Maybe that means something, maybe it doesn't. But Liz made some coffee, and as she mentions how she hasn't driven in 18 years, and the sheriff's like, well, cars have certainly changed a lot in that amount of time. Now, I can understand not leaving the Collinwood property for 18 years, but you haven't driven a car, because it's a big property. There's woods you can get lost in. There's other structures on the property we haven't heard about yet. So it's not like you drive up a hill and then you drive back down. So there's got to be some back roads there. She has like no interest in getting in a car, and I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm so pissed off. I'm going to be losing my car. I can't believe she doesn't want to drive a car and she's rich. So that blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. I would still have a car even if I didn't drive. And I just can't fathom that. Lisa Gray says, Burr, in my native lingo is alapa, like AH, second word LA, third word PA. Alapa can mean it's cold or even shut the fucking door. It's pure Baltic out there. But the sheriff is mentioning a rumor about Burke that's been going around. And they kind of like they've known each other for so long. They kind of shoot the shit about just any old kind of thing. But Liz gets onto the something about disappointment, and like, oh, you should have seen my father when I came along. And the sheriff kind of looks at her, and she's like, well, my dad wanted a boy. Oof. Yeah, he got one, but then he got Roger. So I guess careful what you wish for. I think Liz is more of a man than he is. I'm not saying she's butch at all. She just has more like stand and fight qualities. But the phone rings. Sheriff picks it up. It's the back road to Bangor is completely impassable. And it's country as fuck out there. There's like a few houses. It's a road with a few houses. So over in the cars, it's Roger's driving still. It's just like rain. He's having trouble seeing. Saying how nor'easters usually last 3 days. And they drive so far, but then they stop, and Victoria's kind of like, why? But Roger's like, look, it just like we can't see it, but it's just like the road is a lake. We've seen when that's happened before. Just like the road ends, and suddenly we're at water if we're not driving through that. It's like, well, what do we do? Roger's like, well, let me get out and just see how deep the water is. And Victoria's like, well, hurry! Like he's gonna run off and leave her there. Like she's acting paranoid, like she doesn't want to be alone when they're in the middle of nowhere. But okay, whatever. But he gets out to look, and I guess it's just way too deep, so there's no driving through it. But apparently he walked up the road a little bit. There's some abandoned house that even has a wood stove inside. Maybe they can just hang out in there until the rain passes. Cool, let's get this car going. Turns the key. Nothing. Just tries it again. Just nothing. It's just not. It's like the battery's dead. It will not start. Won't turn over. It's like, oh, I guess we're walking to that house. Hold on, they leave a note here saying it's not an abandoned vehicle. Stick that up front. So they gotta, pop out. It's I don't know if Roger has an umbrella or if he's just gonna like help toss my coat over you, but they're not gonna sit in that car. So they take off. Over in the foyer, the sheriff leaves, and so Liz is just turning off the lights. There's this one light where it's a big glowing ball, and you just sort of like turn this knob, and that turns it off. Every light, a lot of these lights seem to have like a dimmer switch. It's not an on and off switch. It's like a little knob you got to turn. Now we do see the clock. It's 12:10 a.m. So we're in day 13. Okay, yeah, new location now. This is that abandoned house that Roger found. It really does look abandoned. It's woods. It's got boarded up windows, just this overgrown, like leaves, just trees that have not been kempt, kind of skinny ass shrub trees growing up there. And go inside. There's barrels. There's some paper strewn about. There's a gas lamp. There's just some dresser. It's like a dresser was in there and somebody just pulled the drawers out. But it just looks, a bit cold. But at least there's somewhere to sit. The door closes so you can block the wind. Get that, wood stove going maybe. But this is the first time they've ever really talked. It's day 13, and they've never really like sat in the same room and had a conversation. It's mostly just her getting orders or her having to explain herself to other people. It's never her and Roger sitting down and just like sitting down over a cup of coffee. It hasn't happened. I don't know if it ever will. Victoria says it's strange that David and Burke have become friends. Roger says, not really, they're both alike. And Victoria agrees. She's like, yeah, they are. They're not like you. You seem so confident. And she's not putting him on. She genuinely believes this about him. We know better. But then she asks him, she's like, what do you want out of life? Roger's like, right now, to be rescued and for you to leave Collinwood. First of all, you're a pussy. You're a man sitting around waiting to be rescued. Like, are you Rapunzel? So Victoria asks, commercial break, we come back. She's asking, why would Burke kill Bill if Bill could clear his name? So Roger, he's just like, well, Bill was demoted when he came back into town, so he was so mad at Roger that he decided to side with Burke just to get back at him. And then he says he thinks that they fought and that it was an accident, Bill falling in, but that they had some witness that wouldn't testify. And then he says, you can't let Burke know that you have his pen because he'll tell Mr. Blair and then he'll destroy his pen and then there won't be any evidence. And as he's, telling her this, the door opens up. The sheriff's there, like, hey, I found your note. And Victoria's just very, just upset, unnerved by what, Roger was just saying. And the sheriff thinks that she's just upset by being stranded. And she's like, oh, don't worry about that. We'll get you back safe and sound. It's okay. It's over. And of course, she's not going to correct him. Just, okay, well, they get to leave. And then we see that empty, abandoned area for the credits. That's just an abandoned house. I don't know, maybe it was nice back in the day, but it's just, time sure did hit it pretty hard. Alright, episode 97 was November 8th, 1966. It's still the 13th day, but it's morning now. It's sun's out, thunderstorm's over. Real nice day. And Victoria comes downstairs and walks into the living room. And Liz and Carolyn are both sitting on the couch, and they're just sipping coffee, just totally chilling. And I think Roger's there, but he's up. But he's probably got a cocktail. I don't think he's drinking coffee. Does Roger ever drink coffee? But he's in the room too. The three of them are there. He's up, walking, pacing, just standing. And Victoria kind of stops in the doorway, and like they're, oh, good morning. Like, oh, you're still here? But she walks in and just kind of noticing people are like almost like avoiding looking at her, even though she's right in the room. So there's Carolyn. Have fun in Bangor? She says no. And she explains herself. Well, Burke was going up to Bangor anyway, so why not let him give her a ride up there? They're both traveling the same way. And Liz mentions that she does remember that Betty Hanscom, but again, did not bear any resemblance, or doesn't bear any resemblance to Victoria. And tells her there's no link between you and Collinsport. But she wonders what Burke did to scare her into calling Roger for a ride that late at night. What could he have done? There's no answer. But over in the foyer, Roger and Carolyn are both, I think Liz might have sent her out of the room, but yeah, Roger and Carolyn, they're both sitting on the steps. I think they still have their coffee cups. Or at least Carolyn doesn't. They're wondering the same thing. Like, well, what the hell could have happened that, Burke did to make her, scare her? And Carolyn's asking, why would Victoria call you in the middle of the night? And Roger said something about, it's like, well, to you, I'm just your old uncle, but, maybe Miss Winters doesn't see me that way. Or he says it in such a way to imply that there could be a relationship between himself and Victoria. Carolyn's like, you and Vicky? She would be my aunt. And it kind of, Roger doesn't correct her. Just kind of leaves it at that. And Carolyn's still well. It's that fitted short sleeve sweater shirt that I told you about, and the plaid skirt. Oh man, yeah. Let's just enjoy that in black and white. So Roger goes into the living room, and Victoria's walking out. So Carolyn asks Vicky, like, do you really like my Uncle Roger? So, well, he must be fond of you to rescue you from Burke. Victoria says, I was with Frank Garner. He's at least 10 years older than you. And he's very attractive. Her words, not mine. And by the way, my good friend, she's like, Burke told me you called him down to the restaurant that day. So he was there to see you, not me. And goes upstairs. She tells her there. So over in the living room, Roger doesn't know why Victoria called. Maybe Burke was too drunk. So Liz is just wondering, well, why didn't she tell me? And Roger, he figures that, Victoria doesn't seem like the type to be telling tales out of school, and that's sort of what he says. So I buy that, but Roger says it's not safe for Victoria at Collinwood because of David. So he's still trying to get her out. So in the foyer, Victoria. Yeah, she does come back down, but Victoria's saying, well, why do you care what happened between me and Burke and Bangor? Saying that's Carolyn. And Roger's wondering the same thing, like, why the hell does Carolyn care? And Carolyn says, well, while you live here, your actions reflect on us. So Victoria says, does nothing you do reflect on anyone? Carolyn has to run upstairs to get some aloe vera for that sick burn. Damn, she got her good with that. She got her twice. Bruh. But it's true. Nobody ever tells Carolyn about herself. She just runs around like there's no consequences, and like her, actions don't reflect on the family. Like she's outside of it all. Oh, William Cooper said the a la pa Lisa Gray, shut the fucking door definition killed me. Yeah, William Cooper's Canadian, so you guys probably almost speak the same language because it's up there. I forgot about that. Yeah. I'm not accusing um, Lisa Gray of speaking Canadian. I know it's English. At Collinwood, we're at the front door now, just outside. Victoria's got her coat on, and she's going for a walk, and Roger's kind of just lingering around, like, oh, where are we gonna walk to? And Victoria's like, not you two. She's like, well, I'm not going to the Collinsport Inn or the police department. And we can see the exterior of Collinwood during, like, there's those stairs going down like that side entrance exit. We see those during the day. So jump over to the Evans cottage. You want to check this episode out because Sam is singing. He's got a really low, is that baritone voice? Like, dude is actually singing. William Bill Cooper, you crack me up, Nikki, accused of speaking Canadian yet. Like, you never, like, even foreigners know you don't want to, like, call an American a Canadian because they'll probably freak out at you. So it's along with that. We've got some great Canadian Franklies. It's just like how folks think of Canada. I don't know, man. South Park, maybe they do have flapping heads. I don't know. I've never been up there. But yeah, it's Sam. He's singing. He's trying to sew something, and he's doing the, like, holding up the needle and trying to put the thread through. Don't they have that thing, like, you put the thread through, like, you put that one thing through the eye of the needle, then you put the thread through, and then you pull it through, and it pulls the thread through. Like, did they not have those back then? But I don't think it's emasculating to see men sewing. That's like one thing you think, like, oh, women sew. Like, no, men sew too. There's men seamstresses, and I don't know the masculine version of seamstress, but they do that. But a knock on the door, open it up, it's Victoria. So she comes in, Sam hangs up her coat. They've got coat hooks at the Evans cottage. And she's just there to asking some questions about that picture of Betty Hanscom. And just, Sam is so casual. He's the one actor we've got on the show now where it seems like he came with the set. Like, he actually seems like he's really from this town. He's so natural. and just it is just a part of, like, he's not chewing up the scenery, but he's just so natural with it. His acting style, it's like you do get the sense that this man has been living in that town for, maybe 30 years, just so I can't put my finger on it, but like he's one of the, like, on a show with very good actors. There's just something about him that just makes him just a little bit better. And he pulls out his tobacco pouch. Oh no, that too. Jesus, you smoke too, but his tobacco pouch thing just so. You gotta smoke cigarettes and tobacco, damn Sam. But he was saying, like, they don't really know a lot of folks around town. Just back when his wife was alive, they just kept to themselves. And then afterwards, just. But he's not originally from Collinsport. He's from Connecticut. He's like that's kind of south from here, but to a real southerner, I'm a Yankee. And yeah, Victoria mentions that picture again, and just like, oh, I know where you had it last time. It was behind that stack of pictures over there. So he goes and pulls it out, and we get to see it. Victoria's like, oh, I just love this picture. So Sam's like, well, it's yours, and she's like, you're just giving me some of your artwork. He's like, well, I'll wrap it up for you too. Just don't mention it. Oh my God, you just get a picture? But yeah, it's yours. So he offers to wrap it up. That is so awesome of him. And it's not like he's a little bit flirty with her. Not like a Frank Garner with Victoria flirty. It's just like you get a sense that Sam likes the ladies. So over in the living room, there's Liz opening up the window. So we got that, great shot. Roger comes in. This is it. Liz says, I was just on the phone with Dick Garner. I'm like, wait, who's Dick? Oh, Richard is. Oh yeah, I always forget that that's the nickname for. She's never, like, nobody is really called Dick on this show, so they don't swear or talk about body parts. So I'm like, what? Oh, Richard. Oh, okay. Just I don't think that comes. But she's telling Roger that Richard Garner called and Victoria had been up to his office. And she's like, well, it might be about that Hanscom girl. And Roger has no idea. She's like, well, we had a butler, and that was his niece or his daughter. And there's this picture that Victoria saw, and she said that she looks just like her. And Sam had, painted it whenever, but she does not want any importance attached to that picture at all. Just kind of wants it all to just be forgotten. So Roger says, you're protecting Miss Winters. And Liz is like, well, she's my responsibility. So just then the front doors open up, and there's Victoria, and she's got something big in her hands that's wrapped up. And she's like, yeah, it was just Evans cottage, and Sam Evans gave me that picture that I mentioned. Just like he wants them to see it, unwraps it, just get, like, when you're holding something big out for somebody to see. So she turns around and shows it to him. And as she's unwrapping it, look at Liz. She kind of gets nervous and just kind of, it's like she doesn't want to get near it almost. But then she looks at it for literally 2 seconds. I don't see any resemblance at all. Do you, Roger? Like, oh, no, I don't see it either. So Victoria's just very kind of like, how can you not? Well, like, here's the picture. There's her face. How did you not see the resemblance? So, like, as they're telling her this, like, Carolyn walks up behind her. So Victoria just does a 180, shows her the picture. Carolyn's like, oh, Victoria, when did you have time to get this done? It looks just like you. Cut to Roger and Liz, and just Great scene in this really great episode too, but just like, no, it doesn't look like you at all. Show it to somebody else. Why did you have this made? It does. It looks like her a lot. I realize it's 9 p.m. now, but I also realize I got kind of a late start. So, how long have I been at this? I want to say an hour. Will this tell me? Will YouTube tell me how long I've been live for? It started an hour ago. Hmm. How can I find this out? I'm really trying to keep this around 2 hours. Sorry if there's any lag. The last time I went live was 7:35 p.m. So that's like an extra half an hour. Yeah, so I've got to do an extra half an hour. That's okay. Because nobody's going to see the first three parts. I always end up privating those. Those are embarrassing. Like, they're embarrassing. Not that embarrassing that I wouldn't put in public again. Um, as a current YouTube channel, that's kind of embarrassing, but maybe I'll throw them back up there. It's just that the audio is so bad, it hurts my ears to listen to. What's my battery at? That's a real question. Good thing I grabbed the friggin' charger. Okay, yeah, well, we'll go for like an extra half an hour. I understand if folks got to cut out. I just want to keep this around 2 hours so it doesn't look weird, so I can cover everything. So yeah, let's keep going into episode 98. Was November 9th, 1966. Oh, is this a new day? Hold on. This starts happening now, or we just jump into brand new. Yeah, it's a brand new day, day 14. We are 2 weeks in. We're in the living room. Liz is wearing it's a dark colored dress. It's got that brooch, that fiery looking, looks like flames curling up around something. That brooch, pearl earrings. I feel like I'm so. No, that's better. Okay, that's fine. But Alyssa's saying to Matthew that Mrs. Johnson is moving in today. And Matthew never liked that idea from day one. And he's like, I can do everything around Collinwood. Like, well, it's just, it's her decision, so just be nice to her. So I knock on the door, open it up. So Mrs. Johnson, she's got two bags with her. She kind of walks like she has a bad back. I don't know if it's the actor or the character, but a girl, I feel ya. So she's kind of carrying these two bags. Luggage did not have wheels on it back then. And Liz says that dinner is usually at 8 p.m. Like, aren't they in bed at like 10 or 10:30? Who's eating a whole ass dinner 2 hours before bed? That is so late. Are you in Spain? Why? Oh my God. Like quite frankly, is still on. How do you, I don't know. I'm always busy at 8 p.m. How do you just, okay, whatever. It's not like they get up early to, I don't know. I don't know. They're different. But do you have any questions? Liz asks her, and Mrs. Johnson's like, nope, I know my duties. I mind my own business. And that's fine by Liz. And you're reminded her to don't mind Roger. He's just not used to strangers. And stay out of the basement. There's no reason to go down there. Don't think about it. Don't touch it. Don't look at it. It's like, okay, fine. And tells Matthew to take Mrs. Johnson's bags to her room is the third door on the left. I'm surprised they're letting her live upstairs. Okay. So over in the foyer, Liz introduces Mrs. Johnson to David. He's just coming down the stairs. And David's like, well, we already met. And Mrs. Johnson, she just wants to unpack so she can get going with her work. So she takes off. And in the living room, David's asking, well, does she know about the ghosts? First thing he asks is, why do you want to work here? And Liz says, well, that's rude. It's like, oh, I'm sure he didn't mean it that way. I think Matthew Morgan asked her the same question, too. But does she know about the ghosts? Does she want to? She won't want to work here if she knows the place is haunted. Liz says there aren't any ghosts. So later on, it's the living room again. The fireplace is off. It's rarely off, but it is off because Matthew's cleaning it. He's doing he's a big guy. We're not going to see around him, so he's cleaning it, doing something. So his head's down, is busy. David comes in. He doesn't notice him, so he taps him on the back, and Matthew jumps like, "Don't scare me like that." So it's like, well, sorry, I just wanted to see what you were doing. But David asks about Mrs. Johnson. Well, do you like her? And Matthew's like, I don't know her. And David's like, me either. It's like, I don't like her, but, maybe I should be nice to her because my friend is nice to her. He likes her too. I don't know if he mentions Burke. He just mentions his friend or his best friend. But this is right when Mrs. Johnson comes in. She's got a tray with her. It's David's lunch. It's like, oh, I made you a ham sandwich. Liz said it was your favorite. I think there's a glass of milk there, too. And David's like, oh, well, I usually eat in the kitchen or the dining room. I never eat on a tray. And she's like, oh, I just thought you'd like something different. They just set it down. There's like a little table that's in between the sofa and one of the chairs. It's all by the fireplace. And Matthew's, don't spill, don't make any kind of mess. And David's okay. And then he scoots his chair in, and you can see it bumping like the glass of milk shakes. Like, I don't want to make a mess, but it would have been funny if that tipped over right as he said, "Don't make a mess." I don't know how you play the rest of the scene, but it could have been worse. But Matthew, he's got his bucket full of ash, so he's got to take that away somewhere. So it's just David and Mrs. Johnson, and she sits down and she's kind of shooting the breeze with David. Like, yeah, when I was your age, there was this big old house that I would sneak into, and I would find these rooms in that house. I would call them my secret rooms. Lisa Gray, yeah, don't spill the milk. So, like, I was gonna drink that. And David's like, yeah, Collinwood has secret rooms too, and it has ghosts. Mrs. Johnson, just like, you're just trying to scare an old lady. You're fooling. And as they're like having this conversation about like, oh, rooms in a big house, that's when Matthew's coming back from that kitchen door, so he overhears it. So he just steps right into the room. No, David, you're making a mess. Take that into the kitchen. It's like he's not making a mess. He's just making an excuse to get them to stop talking. So it's like, you heard me get in there. It's like, oh, okay. Like, I'm not going to say no to Matthew either. All right. So he's out of the way. So he turns to Mrs. Johnson, like, I want you to just stop asking questions. I wasn't asking questions. I was just talking to David. Like, are you giving me orders? I take my orders from Mrs. Stoddard. She gets on, like, talk about making a mess. You should look at that mess you left over by the fireplace, though. I've got to clean that up. Over in the foyer, it's we see the clock. It's 10:49 p.m. They often do that. It's never like whatever 05, whatever 10, whatever 15:40. Where like sometimes they go in between like that, and that's fun for your eye to figure out. Is that where the hand is, or is that just the shadow that the lights from the studio are casting? That's when it gets fun. But yeah, it's night. We're in the living room. Liz is wearing this dress is black. I'm pretty sure it's black when it's in color as well. Oh, I couldn't tell you what kind of what those nicer fabrics. I want to say velvet, but maybe that's not it. But it's that it's all black, down to the floor, and it's got these two little like jewel details, like right at the waist, just sort of like it's visually it's gonna bring the eye in a little bit more. It's not like she doesn't have a figure, but it's just like two, just like right about, like not at the breast, but like my camera won't go that low, but just like at the waist. That's really the only embellishment on it. And then it's the double pearls. No, double pearl earrings, one strand necklace. That's what it was. Well, Matthew comes in and he tells her that Mrs. Johnson was asking David about the basement. And he doesn't trust her. Liz says, "You don't like her, do you?" Like, no, he never did. But the clock chimes 11 p.m. We know that from seeing the clock, and you could also count the chimes. She's like, turn the lights out. Like those two lights by the door, they're like those big, thick light bulbs that they had back in the 60s. It's like that, like three of them on these fake candles. There's two of them by the door. You just turn a little knob to turn those down. Then we see the clock again. It's 2:59 a.m., which means it's day 15. And we are in the basement. And it's Mrs. Johnson. She's got her plaid night robe. Not it's yeah, robe. Yeah, because it ties. Yes, plaid. And this is when I notice it too. She does walk like she has a bad back or bad hips. But she's looking around at everything in there. Just we don't really know why she's there other than curiosity. But she's just checking out every single thing, looking around, like getting down, looking at stuff. And she tries to get down at something we don't know, but like when you put your hand on your leg to kind of balance yourself, and she's got her hand down, somebody else grabs it, so she jumps, looks over. There's David. He's just hiding inside of a box. He's just crouched down. He can just fit inside of this box. It scares the hell out of her. What are you doing down here? And he said his crystal ball said that a ghost would be down there. Just tonight. And he might not tell Liz that he saw Mrs. Johnson down there because Burke likes her. And David doesn't believe Mrs. Johnson meant what she said about Burke, like, oh, he's the one who caused Bill Malloy's death. David doesn't believe she meant that because when she said it, Burke did not get mad at her. And then he goes on to say that she could be spying for him. And he's glad because he hates his father and he wants him to die. And this stuff, he brings up, she's like, oh, that's I've never heard of anything so ridiculous in my life. And just you go up to bed. You shouldn't be down here. And she finally gets him to, go upstairs, get the hell out of here. And as she's going upstairs, we hear it again, that disembodied lady. I might have called it crying before. This is weeping, like somebody just died. Like you don't care how you look, just tears everywhere, just weeping. So just that kind of crying. And she's looking around. You can't really know where it's coming from, but she looks over by the locked door and just knocking on it. Hello, who's in there? But it's locked. She had gone up to it before, picked up the lock. We can see there's a padlock on it. But she's certain, she's dead certain that there's crying coming from behind that door. Locked, can't get through. You know, what are you gonna do? Goes upstairs. And then we do see the basement for the credits. And I'm like, damn, are you trying to get fired on your first day? You just got hired in. Technically, that day has not been 20, hasn't even been 12 hours probably. And you're like right where they said you did. And you got found out by David. So she's really not that great at sneaking around. I might stop there since I've got about 15 minutes. Want to go to embarrassed for Streamlabs and Logitech. I think I'm gonna have to start shouting them out or tagging them in every single episode and pointing at them for all of the technical difficulties that I've been having, because this didn't happen with my old camera until it started to kill my laptop. So there's no excuse for newer technology to not work. You either work or you don't. Technical difficulties mean you're not working. Clear audio means you're working. So if you can't do that, you're junk. Then I have to try to convey what happens through dark shadows as if I'm in a film from 1927. I don't know how to do that. I'm not an actor. I don't know how to act this stuff out without words and no visuals. So I can't do that. I really hope this has stayed up the entire time with the mouse plugged in, because before I thought that's what fucked it up. But if I can leave the mouse plugged in and the camera plugged in, theoretically, if I was going to stream Minecraft, I could have audio with it. But if it can't handle audio, if and when I do stream any kind of Minecraft, it's just going to have to, no audio, no video. It's just going to be, it does have a chat room. It always has a chat room off to this. If you type commands, like I'm talking about, turning the weather on and off and change the time of day, it all pops up in the same area on your screen. Yeah, that's right, down there. So it's not like you wouldn't be able to get any kind of info. Like if somebody, I would have to have a chat room open to see you guys talk, and then I would be able to talk back through the Minecraft stream in text. So that would work. I don't know if anybody has to do it like that, but that would theoretically work. Like in my head, when I see myself doing it, that's the way it goes down. So that's kind of fine for me because I'm best typing. So that would kind of work for me, but it is odd to any other video you watch on Minecraft. It's either, voiceover, or it usually is. You rarely see somebody with themselves like down in the opposite corner with some like video of like their camera on and then them playing. Some of it, one of them does that. I kind of don't care for. I think they must play on Xbox because you're listening to the video and then you get halfway through. I don't want to say who. I like this guy's channel. I don't want to down talk him, but it is the fact that you get halfway through and you're like, what are those extra sounds I'm hearing every time he does anything on the screen? My computer doesn't do that. What could possibly, and then you realize how many platforms Minecraft is on, and if you're playing it not on a computer, like if you're stuck playing it on like your phone or Xbox, PlayStation, from what I understand, that is Bedrock. It looks different, but you're hearing those controller sounds. I know what a controller sounds like just because I can't play with one anymore. But so like you're just hearing like the joystick sounds and the buttons. It just so like, no, I've got to leave and come back. I can't listen to all. Can you just play with the keyboard when you're recording and then do your? I don't know why. I don't understand why if you have the choice between Java and Bedrock, you don't choose Java, because sadly, it sounds like Microsoft is just trying everything they can to destroy Bedrock and make it unplayable, like laggy, This one dude was trying to show us how bad it is, and he was playing, and he got so far in, he's like, and you're probably wondering why I keep tabbing out of the game. Just I guess it will just automatically keep if you hit escape, it takes you to the screen where you can exit the game, and it kept doing that. If you click on one part of the screen, it just kept fucking up so bad. You go into one setting and everything is fuchsia. It's so laggy, it's hard to even watch. And I understand it if you're stuck with that, if you can't play it on anything else but Bedrock, you're just kind of fucked. So those people really need to raise hell and tell Microsoft to fix it the way Java players do. But a lot of these people, I assume if you're uploading YouTube content for Minecraft, you have a computer. So if you have a computer, you should be playing Java. Unless you started on Bedrock and you have your Forever World and it's nostalgic for you, there's no reason to have tried Java, transitioned to it. That's the one you see most people play. That's the one Gray Still Plays played. That's the one Swadley and Puff played. That's the one I chose. It's the first. When you download it, you get Java and Bedrock. Java's on top. That's the one I chose. Turns out I was right because that's the one everybody plays. That's the one. I guess it's easier to mod. I mentioned Biomes of Plenty. You get that through CurseForge, which works through Java. I'm not messing with Bedrock. All I know is that I needed to be able to do modding things. So that's why Java. Bedrock just seems like some of it is too easy, but then they're making it so hard to play. What they need to do is hit Microsoft in the wallet. Stop playing Bedrock and switch over to Java. I wouldn't tell anybody to stop playing a game that they paid for, but hit them where it hurts. Hit them in the wallet. If everybody stops, not everybody, but if people who can stop playing Bedrock and go over to Java, they're either going to, fix it, or I would say abandon it, but I don't know if they can do that. If they say that Java players raise all kinds of hell when there's any kind of technical difficulties, so they get fixed. Bedrock players don't do that. Now they're in a world of shit. Like, I'm sorry that's happening to them. That really sucks, but they really need to stand up and fight for that to keep their. At first, it was so bad. This was so bad. At first, everybody thought their worlds got deleted when their games updated. I guess they were just moved to a different place on their computer. I'm glad I don't have to mess with that, but you can't just delete people's worlds. People have been playing this game since like 2009, 10, 11, when it was new. You can't just be deleting people's stuff. Folks have been putting like years and years, literal years into, but I guess it was just, it's so fucked up and wonky. So if you do get into Minecraft, play Java and avoid all that kind of stuff. I feel so bad for those Bedrock players. But again, if you have the choice, pick the one that you're going to see videos of. It's so weird to see people playing Bedrock too. Just like how you have to get to the controls takes so much longer. I don't know why they put up with it. It seems like it's more complicated. In ways, it seems like it's too easy to do the same things. Like, it seems like crafting and getting items are just easier in a way that it's like it's nerfed. It should be. Those things should be hard to get, so you feel like a sense of accomplishment when you do get them. You shouldn't just be handed stuff because it's so weird to see like the same game, but with such a big split. Because like, yeah, it is two different servers, but it's almost like you're talking about two different games, and then you see the gameplay and it's basically the same, just maybe some textures are different. I'm really sorry they're going through that. I really hope they can get it together and tell Microsoft and Mojang and whoever is causing the fuck ups to stop. But they're really good. I would be beyond pissed off if I would have just bought a game in August and then jumped to maybe a week or so, maybe 2 weeks ago, when all this stuff seemed to start happening. Oh hell no! I would be. It would be. This channel would be nothing but me complaining about Minecraft if that happened. Like Minecraft episode 1, no gameplay. Listen. Yeah, my biggest beef with Java Minecraft are those fucking bats. But so I found this out. Since if I go too close to my farm, the audio cracks up. You can just turn down ambient mob and you don't have any like critter sounds, so I can be around all these thousands of chickens and sheep and not have my audio crackle. Lisa Gray says, nice to spend time with you, Nikki and gang. Off to serve supper now. Cheers. Yeah, take it easy. Yeah, John Rogers, yeah, great night. Go to bed. Just got about 5 minutes here. I'll get wrapping up. Or I can start wrapping up now. Yeah, thanks for sticking with me through all of the technical difficulties. Please smash the like button on the way out. It helps out the channel. Make sure you are subscribed. I do want to get to 999 subscribers and stop right there. So we're on the path to that. You can watch Dark Shadows on Tubi right now for free. Link in the description for the show and the channel. You can also watch it. They have it on the Internet Archive. I've got the link for that as well. They won't tell you the episodes that were skipped, so when you get to about episode 109, the counting's gonna be off, but you still get all of the episodes there, or you can download them. Let's see. I do have super chats opened up. It's not through YouTube, it's Venmo or Buy Me a Coffee. 100% goes to myself. So you are supporting the channel. You are not supporting any AI content. You're supporting a real person who needs to eat real food. So that's where that goes to. Will you, Bill Cooper? Great to be here with you, Nikki. Take care out there, my love. Yeah, you too. Thank you. So yeah, sun and a water sign, so I was going to have some more technical difficulties like that. Possibly next week too. It is sort of on the cusp on the 22nd, so I'm still expecting a extra hard time from the technology then. But it just looks like a regular 4-day week. And then we'll be back here on Saturday at 7 p.m., hopefully for the entire time, not broken up into several different parts. I really don't want to have every single review be its own video. That would be annoying. And then me just being a smartass would think, what if I put all of them together? Do I really need a 24-hour long video on my channel that nobody's going to sit through? Maybe. I wonder how long that would take to upload. Start at 9 a.m. and it gets to 5 p.m. It's like, oh my god, I don't care anymore. But yeah, thank you guys for showing up and being Franklies and following me through these technical difficulties. A shout out to Streamlabs and Logitech for giving me nothing but stress. Thomas Collins, thank you everyone. I love your lady voice. Oh, thank you, yeah. Maybe one day I'll have a better microphone and camera. That too, if you want to donate towards equipment, you can put that in your message. If not, I'll probably just turn it into calories. But yeah, it would be nice to have. I can't do as much with the microphone with this. My voice can't get too loud. It's terrible. I feel so strapped in, like wearing a straitjacket when I'm trying to talk to you folks. Whereas with my other equipment, I didn't feel that way. So as long as I put on a good show, it's worth all of the stress. But it's not necessary. I don't need all that. Oh, one to go to. Thank you. I believe YouTube live streams time out at 8 hours. I think you're right. Yeah, it's somebody told me that they go for so long, and then either the not the recording stops, but that is right. That is right. Yeah, you have to start a new stream. That's that guy Mahler that I mentioned. He'll go live on his birthday all day, but he'll do multiple streams. I didn't know why, but I guess that's why. After the 8th hour, he's got to start a new stream. So there's that. But yeah, thank you guys again. Thanks for the likes and the views and the subscribes and the super chats and for being Franklies and having a couple of extra hours on a Saturday. So get you some good sleep, get something to eat extra for me. Smoke out on the balcony. Don't forget your pants. And always support all of your favorite content creators. Don't support AI because it won't support you back. It'll just tell you to unalive yourself. But I love seeing everybody. Thanks for showing up. I might be repeating myself. So take it easy. I'll see you guys in a chat room. And till next time.